All right, YouTube universe. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, welcome back to the Naked Truth. Before we get started, real quick, I just want to send some thoughts and prayers down to our friends down in the state of Florida being affected by the hurricane right now. Be safe, and hopefully this thing blows out fast and the cleanup can begin and we can start getting back to normal, all right? So, what brings us here today? LeBron James calling himself the greatest of all time. And we're going to listen to other players and legends and their view on whether he should have said it, shouldn't have said it. If you're the GOAT, do you say it out loud, or do you just let other people have that discussion, right? So let's just jump right into it. Whether you hang out here for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, fast forward, rewind, it's all good. But before you go, don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Boris is hiding out in the corner. Give him a little pet and you're all set. So let's just jump right into it, boys and girls. Legends and players react to LeBron James calling himself the GOAT. Courtesy
Hey man, it's your boy YG,
of the
aka
Young Gala.
And remember when LeBron
channel.
James called himself the GOAT after
Subscribe.
coming back down 3-1 against the 73-9 Warriors? That shook the whole NBA world, especially Jordan fans. And I can see why they're mad, because LeBron James made a bold statement. But I can also understand why LeBron said that, because think about this. If you came back down from 3-1 against the team that has the best record in NBA history, you'll be feeling the same way. But I agree that he should just kept that to himself, because that's for the people to decide. But at the same time, I love that he said that, because you're not going to see an NBA legend step out to the public and say he's the greatest player of all time. So anyway,
It does take a little bit of a sack to say something like that out loud, especially as still an active player, right? So in essence, you kind of put a target on your back. Not that he doesn't have one anyway, as one of the best players in the league, but now you're gonna have people coming at you, thinking, "Oh, you think you're the GOAT? Yeah, I'm gonna come at you a little harder, maybe."
Anyways, man, we're gonna listen to NBA legends and players react to LeBron James calling himself the GOAT. But before we get straight into that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the culture so you won't be missing any of my videos. And let's get to the vid, man.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For
That's
so
what
many
I felt.
reasons.
I was super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years of everything in sports going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
People always debate it.
Not sure about that. I don't agree with that at all. And what I don't like to hear from him in this particular case is the I. I did this. I won a championship. I took this to Cleveland. I erased the 52 years of frustration. I think you had at least 4 other starters on that team with you, LeBron, Kyrie included, and a bunch of bench players. I wouldn't take that in a good way if he said that. Now it's your teammate.
Who's the greatest player of all time? Dumb question. It should be, who's the greatest team of all time? You know, there are so many teams to choose from. The 91 Chicago Bulls, sorry, Showtime. The 92 Bulls, back-to-back. 93 Bulls, first three-peat. The 97 Bulls, even with the flu. 98 Bulls, no push-off. And my favorite, the 96 Chicago Bulls. 72 wins. Tough to beat that. What?
That sounds like a good reaction video to do, yeah? Do you want me to do maybe some of the greatest teams of all time? We're doing individuals right now, but how about some of the greatest teams of all time? I mean, Michael's got his 6 rings there, but I think there's someone that has 7 more than you, bruh.
You think there's someone else? Prove.
His career's not over. I'd just like to, why he's saying that, I don't know.
I should say Russell has 11 and 13 years. He doesn't have 13 rings. My bad.
Maybe he thinks that sells. Maybe he's taking the Donald Trump approach and trying to sell himself. I don't know, but time will tell. I think history. I don't even know if anybody knows who the greatest of all time is, because the years are so different.
Wow.
Follow that, Scottie Pippen.
That's a tough one to follow. I mean, that's Danny Ainge's opinion.
Right.
And
you know, we all have our opinion, but my problem is more so with LeBron is if you are the greatest player, if people are saying you are the greatest player, or if people are saying Michael Jordan is the greatest player, why do you need to say it?
Right.
Michael Jordan has never, ever said he's the greatest player to ever play the game.
Because if you're the best at what you do, everyone already knows it. And why do I need to say it, of all people? You can all say it.
Why? He's respected all the other players before him. So for LeBron to say that, he's sort of pulling himself out of it because you can't say you're the greatest player. You have to allow your peers in the world to say that.
So the context of when he said it, just because, you know, if we're having this discussion, he was talking, sitting around with his friends, and he was saying that when he won that 2016 title, he said his first thought was Cleveland, wow, we've done this first time in 52 years. And he said, my second thought as I was, you know, running around the court being crazy was, wow, I did it. This is what makes me the greatest player of all time. You can disagree with him, I get it, and you can disagree with him saying that. And by the way, that conversation was for a documentary that was supposed to appear on ESPN Plus, so he knew cameras were rolling. It's not like they caught him in a moment.
Well,
so
I
to your
think
point, he
I
should
think
maybe,
it's
you don't think
pretty
he just
great
should have said
that a
it.
guy won 3 titles, left for 2 years, came back and won 3 more. That is considered greatness to me.
Yeah.
Winning ultimately decides who the greatest players are in the game.
Well, as it turns out, back in 2009, the GOAT, Michael Jordan, was asked by our pal Michael Wilbon about his place on the all-time list of NBA greatness. And here is what MJ had to say.
I don't want it in a sense because I think it disrespects Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, you know, all the guys that prior to me, I never had a chance to play against. You know, what everybody's saying I am, I never had the chance to compete against other legends that was prior to me. When I hear it, I cringe a little bit because, you know, it's a little bit embarrassing because no one knows, you know. I never had the chance, once again, to play against those guys.
That's right.
I need one word answer, Chauncey. Greatest of all time. Greatest of all time, Jalen?
Airness.
Greatest of all time?
Unanimous.
Okay, thank you very much. That being said, Jalen, I want to start with you.
Okay.
How do you feel about LeBron saying that about himself?
First and foremost, to me, LeBron officially passed Larry Bird and got into the top 5 when he won his final championship, his only championship in Cleveland. In my mind, he still has a way to go clearly to pass Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, 11 championships, 13 years, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
The captain.
And my heart just won't let him pass Magic just yet. I got to see a little bit more. And so that's where I'm going on this topic. I appreciate how he's bringing this up so millennials that only saw him play and continue to say he's the guy. But guys that's been around the game and young ladies, we've seen something else that's really special as well.
I agree with everything you're saying, Jay. I love it. I love that he stepped out there. I love that he stepped out there and said.
See, and there's your split, right? There are going to be people who love that bravado, love that LeBron. It's like, hey, I'm the greatest of all time. Tell me otherwise. And then there are others who are like, all right, LeBron, pump your brakes. If you think you're the greatest of all time, you don't need to say it. Let everybody else say it. Be humble. So it's just really a matter of personality, what you like.
That I don't remember any other player ever coming out and saying I'm the greatest of all time.
Right.
I've never seen that before. I love that he's done that. He's on the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion, but I can't put him at the top. There's no way I can put him at the top. And at the end of the day, and he talked about this, that win, beating that team, made him the greatest of all time. Maybe if he would have hit that shot that Kyrie hit,
I mean, that is a
I
part
could
of the
see
deal.
him maybe saying that, but I can't go there. I'm sorry.
You know what? We should turn to our resident self-promoter.
No,
Before,
I don't know if you can self-proclaim this because when you think of all the great players like Jalen said, Kareem, Magic, none of them has never come out and said, I'm the GOAT. You know, that's something up to like the fans, the writers, and former players. Right. You know, so when they come out with these ESPN rankings and all these other rankings, you know, let that be the judge, I think. You know, but the self-proclaiming, he's definitely up there. He's definitely top 5 in my book. But I think when you look at the accolades, the championships, I mean, Jordan, Magic, Kareem, they're all up there.
Agreed.
I've never heard one of the greatest say they were the greatest of all time. That was very interesting to me. Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Oof, man, you know what? It's one thing.
Kevin's old school. I think we know where this is going. I think he'll appreciate that LeBron said it, but I think we know where this is going.
Sit at this table all the time and sing his praises. Yeah. I think LeBron is a great player. Yeah.
He is.
I just think that's disrespectful, honestly, to Bill Russell. What did Bill Russell do? Won every time. He said, "All right, fellas, you want to win? Come with me. We'll go on the floor." That's what this game's all about. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he was great on time, all levels, though, Kareem. The best in high school, the best in college, and the best in the pros.
That's what I'm saying. Michael. I mean, there's just so many. Two of my good, Larry and Magic. I mean, just led teams and turned the league around. You don't need to say that about yourself. Let other people say that for you. I mean, I was kind of surprised because I had read about it, but that's the first time I had actually heard him say it. Made me the GOAT. I'm like, damn.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I love the kid. I think he's a great player. I think he's been great for the game. But let other people say that for you. To me, it's just disrespectful for a lot of people that came before you that were great players. And you said it to begin with, Chris. You can't compare eras and all that stuff. All these guys have been so great in their era. I just didn't like. I didn't like the way that sounded to me. Just didn't like it.
And everybody knows I love LeBron, but I'm gonna call timeout on this one.
Cheesy.
Because and I'll speak definitely to LeBron, or I'll say it to his face. But you never. There's a certain thing about greatness that demands that you have humility with greatness.
I like that. With greatness, you need humility. Kind of like that saying you all heard before, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, with greatness, you need to be a little humble. Again, sound like a broken record. Let others talk about how great you are.
Now, I've never heard, even though we argue about Michael Jordan being the greatest of all time, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being the greatest of all time, LeBron James being the greatest of all time, we have those arguments in debate. I have never heard Michael Jordan say he's the greatest of all time. Yeah. Even though he may think that, even though Kareem may think that, right? You just don't come out and say that. Now, in this era, maybe it's okay for people to come out and say that. All I know, if I was in the league right now and you talking about you the greatest of all time, dude, I'm getting ready to do you. I'm coming at
there
you.
It is. I told you.
And
I told you. You say that out loud and you're still active in the league? Woo, target on your back.
You may be, but to say that is just totally disrespectful to me as one of your competitors, as one of your teammates, as someone in your generation right now. It's just you don't come out and say that. So with greatness, there's a certain amount of humility that goes with that. Now, somebody will probably come back and say, well, Muhammad Ali said I'm the greatest, but that was a single-man sport.
Yeah, individual sport.
That was an individual sport. Yeah. Tiger Woods can make the argument he's the greatest because it's single. Yeah. But when you saying, and by the way, Muhammad Ali was saying he the greatest because, he was getting in the ring and he knocked you out. But, to be able to take that stand and to take that position, in this day and age, in a team sport, you should have some humility that goes on.
Jalen Rose, we've been away on break for a little bit. I've been dying to hear what you think about this. LeBron James claiming that he is the greatest of all time because he brought Cleveland a championship over the Warriors. What do you think about LeBron saying this?
It's a phenomenal feat what the Cleveland Cavaliers were able to accomplish that season in beating a 73-win Golden State Warriors team. If that doesn't happen, probably changes the trajectory of what we see that has taken place over the last 2 years, because I don't think Kevin Durant joins that team. And so, however, your single greatest achievement doesn't make you the greatest basketball player of all time.
Thank you.
What ends up happening is, and LeBron James is genius at doing this, he's creating a narrative of recency bias. It's almost like if you ask millennials right now, who's the greatest rap group of all time? You're going to get a lot of people saying the Migos, because they haven't been necessarily exposed to Wu-Tang Clan, Outkast, NWA, Tribe Called Quest. So LeBron James understands when he says this, it allows the fans to quietly leapfrog him over Tim Duncan and Kobe. I gave him credit for passing Larry Bird as the greatest small forward of all time when that feat happened, which was a tall task for me. But my Mount Rushmore is pretty much still intact. MJ, 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 6 championships, 6 MVPs, the NBA's all-time leading scorer. Bill Russell, 11 championships in 13 years. And Irvin Magic Johnson, 5 championships. That's my Mount Rushmore. To me, LeBron's individual achievements have not...
It's not a bad Mount Rushmore. What's your Mount Rushmore? Give me your top 5 of all time. It could be by position. It could just be positionless. Who are your top 5 of all time?
Clips what those gentlemen have accomplished.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and tell me who is your GOAT and why. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and show love to the YG gang, and I'm out.
All right, boys and girls, that were NBA legends and players talking about LeBron calling himself the greatest of all time. Again, it's a great debate. You know, this clip is a few years old now, so we know LeBron has now broken the scoring record, so he has that under his belt. Look, he's a great player. I think he's a great player. He's going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. But just skill set, IQ, I'm taking the athleticism out of it. I still have Larry Legend ranked above him, but, you know, who knows? That could change. So, without making this video any longer, if you stuck around, don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, kiddies, subscribe. Give Boris a pat on the head, and you're hooked up. Until next time, Naked Truth, we're out.